Hello guys, today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, something a little bit special. This is gonna be the first Holy Paladin video of this season, I believe. I don't think no, maybe I uploaded one before, but this is like the first like hierarchy of the season 1 that I've done with Holy Pala. So keep in mind, Holy Paladin is still like my secondary character. There's probably gonna be some mistakes here and there, probably a lot, so please like don't you know, if you have any useful suggestions or whatever, feel free to post them, but just, you know, just know that like I'm not as invested into this as I am in the priest, but I still wanted to upload some 20s that I've done, you know, and do the commentary, because I do feel like I understand Holy Pala as well, so like maybe, you know, somebody will find this interesting or helpful, and if not, then don't worry, there'll be more priest videos in the future, but just wanted to get this posted as well, and you know, see how it goes, because also like rewatching these videos also helps me learn more about my mistakes and what I've been doing wrong and stuff like that. But yeah, so heading into this like a big bowl, you know, classic stuff with Holy Paladin. Put an Ashen down. Make sure you drop your consecrates as well. I think some people don't prioritize consecrates at all. I think they're a pretty big source of damage, and it's nice because they're passive damage as well, so you just click them and they deal damage, and it does a lot. And we do have, since we're not running Crusader Strike anymore, we definitely do have quite a few empty global cities to use, so it's very good to just get those consecrates out of the way. Alright, so main problem with Holy Pala, not problem, but main like thing I guess you need to learn would be, in my opinion, managing your CDs. Same as probably, to be fair, that probably goes for every healer, but with Pala it's even more specific, because Pala is really helpless without CDs. Like I feel like out of all the healers, Pala might be like, okay, so I mean, I played 2 healers so far, so I'm probably not the best person to say this, but between Priest and Pala definitely feels way more helpless without CDs than Priest does. It's like, on the pulls where I don't have CDs on Priest, I still feel like I can do some healing and some damage and stuff. On Paladin, only if the pull is like super easy that works. If not, then it's kinda different. But yeah, so you want Ashen, of course, the big pulls. I missed one Holy Avenger usage, so that's kind of a bad move by me. That's what I mean. One of the main problem is you want to sync up your Avenging Wrath with the Ashen Hollow, and sometimes that is simply not possible, or not optimal, so you kind of have to learn to either improvise or just press your buttons whenever you feel like, and hope for the best. And it's, you know, these things come of course with time and practice, and if you play with the same group, you know, you'll get better and better at managing your CDs, but ultimately it can get quite tricky sometimes. Yeah. Right, so shards done. It is Tyrannical week though, so these shards are not that bad, especially since Thrash got heavily nerfed, because they made a change where you can't outrange it anymore. Well, at least you can DPS and outrange it, so now you just have to kind of eat it, and it's a bit tricky, but I also want to say one more thing about Holy Pala. So from what I understood, like I've been watching like what some like high level people do regarding Holy Pala stuff, and there seems to be consensus that there's a few viable builds actually. The build I'm using is not necessarily the best one. I think it's the best one in terms of just like pure damage output, with both Seraphim and Hammer of Justice, or whatever it's called. Hammer that you can drop on the ground, I forgot what it's called. But you just kind of have to be careful with what you're using, because this build does lack HPS output quite severely unless people stand in your hammer, and even then it's not the greatest. You're basically only healing cities are gonna be, I mean, like, of course, like wings and HoA, and it's not that great. It's kind of scary, so just be careful. It can be very tricky to keep people alive. So like, for example, if there's like a grievous week or bursting week or something like that, you might want to alter your build a little bit, and maybe run with Crusader Strike, or maybe run with double beacon instead, or something like that. Like that, there's a few adjustments you can make. It's just something to keep in mind. Right, so here, one more Ashen Hollow, you know, with the hammer, and then just like dealing some damage. Just doing Holy Paladin things, you know. It's pretty cool stuff. It's one of the reasons why I like Holy Paladin, because I can do like huge burst damage, and that's pretty fun. Look at this, like 15k DPS. It's crazy, dude. It's like pretty nuts for a healer to deal that much damage, honestly. It's pretty crazy and fun.
Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
And then we pulled this guy, you know. Just keep the person that's frozen alive. That's kind of the main issue here. Hunter, in this case. Don't forget that you can handle freedom yourself here. I feel like a lot of paladins don't use this. There's no reason not to. Like, it's one global, and it definitely helps you move. And if you feel like you're not worried you're gonna get hit, then you can use it on somebody else. And here I placed the hammer, and I think we kept the guy in the hammer, hopefully. But yeah, it's just like, this is the thing with the hammer thingy. I mean, everything is hammer with the paladin, but I'm talking about, wait, let me take a look and see how the spell is actually called, so I can stop saying random words. Give me a sec. Right, it's called Light's Hammer. That's the hammer I was referring to when I said hammer earlier. Okay, so basically, just like the thing about Light's Hammer is, I don't know how like good it is on some weeks, because I see a lot of people who have opted to go for that talent now, and it does work. It definitely helps with damage, and it does some healing, and that's all really cool and nice. But ultimately, it has the native disadvantage of spells that need targets to be in, which is, well, you need targets to be in there, so that kind of is not always possible. Sometimes it's hard. On some weeks tanks need to kite more, certain pools don't allow you to stand still and things like that, so you just kind of have to be careful and kind of gouge for yourself the way your group plays, you know. Don't be a sheep. Think for yourself. If you see that you're not getting value out of hammer because of either your tank pulling out stuff, or he simply cannot keep things inside, or whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. But like, just like, you know, I would even say if you play with pugs, maybe like, unless it's a coordinated group and you trust the tank, maybe like go for a different talent. The Crusader Strike is still good. It will hurt your mana more, and but it will also give you much more HPS, so that's something to keep in mind. And also the Seraphim talent tree is also very questionable, and also the last one. Like, some people prefer single, like a Glimmer of Light, some people prefer double beacon. If you need extra HPS, I think double beacon is definitely the way to go. For example, I would say on bursting and on grievous weeks you can go with double glimmer, otherwise you should go, I think, with Glimmer of Light. I haven't tried like the third one. What's the name? Virtue something, Beacon of Virtue, I guess, or whatever. I haven't tried that one ever. I don't know if it's good or not. I've just never seen any good like Holy Pala highly rated run it, so I don't know how good it is, but maybe I'll give it a try. Honestly, it doesn't seem all too bad, to be honest. Like, when I read the skill, it seems to be pretty good, so why not, right? Either way, Seraphim is good, but Holy Avenger and Divine Purpose are also really good. I think if you're looking for a build that will give you way more HPS, you go for Holy Avenger. The reason we went for Holy Avenger in the previous season is because we didn't have Divine Toll like Kyrian does, so we needed some extra CDs to keep people alive, especially on Prides, so you don't have to like necessarily just commit Holy Avenger for Pridefuls on high level, and Holy Avenger just seemed to be like a perfect spell that did that and balanced out the spec. This season I'm not really sure what the reasoning is behind the Seraphim build. Like, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think the main idea behind it is it just gives you extra burst during Ashen, and it makes you even more insane, so like why not, right? It's because this whole class, basically, when you're playing Venthyr, the whole class is based around your Ashen. Like, the only thing you actually care about is your Ashen, so I mean, that's not true, it's not only Ashen, but it's mostly Ashen. Like, the reason why you want to bring Holy Paladin in a high key is so you can do some insane pulls that are catered to the power of Ashen Hollow that will simply carry a lot of pulls that would be seen as borderline impossible with some other specs. And here you can see I'm not even using Seraphim here, so that's like my mistake. I think it's because I was panicking because we pulled more than we were supposed to, so I wasn't really focusing on my own rotation. I was just like trying to keep people alive, so that's a pretty big mistake by me. You always wanna, I think you always wanna use Seraphim and Light's Hammer when you pop those wings, and then together with Ashen Hollows, just so you can get that extra damage. You just kind of go crazy. But yeah, that pull wasn't too bad. Like, this wasn't the plan. We didn't plan to do it like this. We just pulled extra pack on accident while we were getting the Stoneborn, so that kind of like also forced me to pick up Stoneborn earlier, preventing me from picking up both Stoneborns at the same time. So that just kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's not the worst in the world, and besides, like, we were completely fine. But yeah, this boss, like, there's not much to say about this boss really. It's like, just don't stand in front of him, dodge red puddles. That's about it. Like, it's a moronic boss, really. Nobody should ever die to this boss. Like, there's literally stay in circle, dodge red lines, dodge red puddles, don't stand in the swirly. It's like as basic as it gets. The person that really needs to worry in this on this boss is just the tank. The rest of you just need to deal damage. Like, that's about it. If your tank screws up, there's not much you will be able to do on a Tyrannical week anyway. On Fortified, maybe you can kill people while they're walking over red stuff, but I don't think on 20 Tyrannical that's possible. I think people die in like 2-3 ticks, and it's just like too much damage. So like, if your tank messes up the movement, simply people are gonna either have to like use immunities or use mobility spells to get out, or they will simply die. There is no other way, at least in my opinion. Now, somebody may be able to tell me in like comments, but I don't know if Tremor prevents people from getting feared if they walk out of circle. I'm not really sure how that interaction would go. But if you guys know, if you tested it out, I would be very curious to know if Tremor actually does help there. That would be pretty interesting to know. And you can see here I ran out of mana. This is something that never happened previous season, but now because we don't, to be honest, like, using Crusader Strike is not as important as it was before. You can maybe tone down a bit on it. I'm still playing around with it. Like, of course, once we have the mana power and stuff, it shouldn't really matter. It's not the biggest of deals. Like, it's whatever. It's just like a little bit of mana, but it's like you don't need to like worry about it too much, but just know that using, like, unless you're running Crusader's Might talent instead of Light's Hammer, Crusader Strike does not have as much value as it had last season, because we don't need to like get those Holy Shocks. Like, we don't get the Holy Shock CD anymore if you're running with a Light's Hammer, so it's not as important. But yeah, so this boss, please don't underestimate this boss. This boss is not a joke, even though a lot of people would maybe disagree. Especially on Tyrannical, there's see the damage. Like, do you see that damage? Like, I had to expend like a lay in hands there. and it still wasn't enough. You need to understand something about this boss. Like, this boss is easy if you do mechanics, same as with most other bosses. Now the problem is that a lot of people don't understand the mechanics of this boss, so I'll try to go over it, because I've been frustrated lately with like the way people play this boss a lot of times, and I've heard a lot of people actually having problems with it. So like, first of all, on Tyrannical, if two people get hit by this ability and they do not have like immunity or defensive, they're just dead. Like, healers are not going to be able to keep you up unless they can just like tunnel heal you, and even then I'm not sure. Like, maybe some classes will, but I for example know on priest, if two people get hit, you're just dead. Like, good luck, have fun. That's it for you. Second, killing the ads is not as important, hitting them with the circle as people think, but it's pretty important. And the way to make it easier for yourself is when the ads spawn, don't touch them. If you touch them, they will just stay there and keep casting. If you don't touch them, look, they just come to you. And if they do that, then you get them all stacked up, and then you will have an easier time hitting them with a circle. Look at this. I have the easiest job in the world now. I just come here and I'm good. Easy. And they're all dead. So, you know, try to do that. Try to not touch them before. I know sometimes it's hard for some classes and stuff, but it really helps. It trivializes the mechanic of the boss, and other than that, nothing can kill you. One more advice I'll give you. See how we did it? We did it wrong. We played this boss pretty bad, because I don't think anybody takes it very seriously. But this is why I'm telling you guys, like, if you're ever struggling with this boss or something and you were looking for what to improve, here's what you can improve on. Do not stand in the middle. Don't stand in the middle. And the reason why you don't want to stand in the middle is because you will put the pools all over the middle of the map, and then what's gonna end up happening is you will run out of space, and then you will have to stay on side, and then stone fields will have harder time getting stacked, and then you won't be able to kill them with the circle, with the stone shattering thingy. So you're just fighting a losing battle, like uphill battle at that point. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. And here I think I will die actually. Yeah, I got stunned in the red. Like, I tried to go out, but I got stunned. So yeah, there's a pretty bad mistake by me, and yeah, we just kind of like played this boss pretty badly. It still worked out. Like, I don't know if you noticed before, but like Monk and Hunter both got hit, and they both had to expend like all of their defensives to live. And stuff like that. That's just something you want to avoid rather than having to deal with. But it's no biggie. Like, if it happens, it happens. It's not the end of the world. Like, don't like stress about it too much, but just be aware that these are things that can happen and will happen, and you might want to kind of like address them. And just be careful. All right.
One of the more ruthless Marsworn.
Next, we decided to do this pull because we were feeling pretty confident at the moment. I'm not sure how smart this was in the end. Now, as a paladin, what you can do here, which is really nice, and a lot of people seem to overlook this, like this utility that a paladin brings. But see, if somebody is dying to the dot from this guy, the best thing you can do for them is to bop them. And if you bop them, they lose the bleed and they don't take damage, plus they have the damage reduction from your conduit that you should be running, and that just kind of trivializes a lot of things this guy does. Plus, on top of that, you have Aura Mastery, which for this guy the main thing to use is damage reduction, because he reduces the healing done, so like no matter how much you heal, it's gonna be less effective. So just like having damage reduction whenever there's healing reduction is always like the play. And luckily, as paladins, we have multiple ways of reducing damage. So we can either use some of our hands that will, through the conduit, give you damage reduction. We can use sack, we can use bob, we can use aura mastery with protection aura. It's just so many things we can do. So just like use your things, use your personal defensive, and then you can do bigger pulls with that guy on top, and it's not that bad. Here I got hit by the frontal, just a little bit of sloppy play by me. Luckily it's Tyrannical, so it didn't matter. On Fortified I was dead there, so just like be careful from the frontals, don't take unnecessary damage. What did we do here? Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, we had like a bit of discussion about this.
Run away.
So basically what happened is Hunter wanted to hit the thing and misdirect it to the tank, which would then be totally fine, but he accidentally pulled Stoneborn because tank like line of sight him or something. I don't even know at this point. It doesn't matter. Point is like Hunter died, and that kind of like would it either have to cost us like a combat res or just like lose time here. So we just combat res him a little bit too slow in my opinion, but we did it. And but the bigger loss is we actually lost one Stoneborn for this, which is really something you do not want to do. In retrospective, maybe I shouldn't have grabbed it, but I was worried it's gonna die just to like passive cleave, because we have like Monk and Hunter and Shaman who all are like cleavers. So you know, I was like, if I don't take it, it's just gonna die anyway. So it's like I better take it and help us with this guy. And it's whatever. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't. I don't think it matters too much. Point is, don't get into a situation where you have to make this decision. That was dumb. Just let tank taunt, whatever. Alright, so here just like full bursts. We have everything except we don't have Light's Hammer, which is a little bit of a loss, but we can do a lot of damage as a Holy Paladins, as you guys will see. See, I was waiting a bit for the hammer, and I'm gonna pop Seraphine, and then you go like Holy Shock, Judgment, Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, of course, Holy Shock, Judgment. Make sure you do some heals on the side if it's needed. If it's not, cast it just to have a chance to like proc your wings again. Make sure you're using Hammer of Wrath, Justice, Holy Shock, and Crusader Strike on CD. Put the Consecrate down, and we did some decent damage. Not too impressive, honestly. I'm not really sure what I did wrong. I feel like I should be doing more damage. I'm not really sure what I did wrong there. I feel like maybe it's the lack of bloodlust, because usually I look at my like when lust happens I also Ashen Hollow on the bosses, and that's where I look at my single target damage. So I'm not really sure what I did wrong in this pull. It feels like I could have done a lot more damage considering I had all my CDs up, but maybe it's the gear thing. Maybe it's because my Paladin isn't super geared yet. It's pretty high item level, but the items are not optimal, and the conduits are not optimal, and honestly I don't think I've upgraded shards yet on this character. Now that I think about it, I haven't upgraded my shards, so it's probably not that big of a loss overall, but you know, add a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and you do lose some damage, but still I think you can I could easily on this character, if I was to pop a potion and just like be fully buffed with Bloodlust, I think I could do close to 20k single target. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe if I ran, I think like Crusader Strike is better single target because it reduces Holy Shock CD, so you can like Holy Shock more, and that's like a decent damage output. But I don't know. Maybe somebody who is more familiar with Paladins can tell me in the comments if you guys have any like suggestions, or if you've seen something that I've done wrong during that period. Burst, let me know. But still, decent overall damage. I would say above 4k is more than good for a healer. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like the new meta is with shamans. Like shamans seem to be really crazy at the moment in both like as ally shaman damage dealer or enhancement shaman in the raid is quite needed at the moment because warriors are strong. Or Rasta shaman seems to be new meta for the keys. They seem to be doing a lot of damage every single pull, and people like that. It's like you play high keys totally differently with Shikiri and Shami. Apparently you have like a bunch of small medium-sized pulls, and you just kind of keep pulling, and the shaman just like deals like a lot of damage every single pull, and it's pretty crazy. So I will look into making a shaman as well. Eventually, I wanted to do, like, I was wondering when I was just starting the game, I was wondering whether to main Disc Priest or Shaman, but I decided for Disc Priest. In retrospective, I don't regret it, but I wish I had a Shaman simply for the fact that I think it would be like a smaller learning curve for me. Learning disc was really difficult for me as like a player who's new to retail, and not a lot of people were willing to give me a chance to like make a mistake, you know, because people are always like, if you're not doing good, people are like, ah, you suck, you're bad, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but you know, I have to learn somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's, you know, but I understand that people are like that. I get it, you know. But I was never, you know, what I don't like is like I was never claiming to be good or something. I just kind of wanted to play the game, you know what I mean? And nobody is perfect from the start, so like if you're coming here and telling me you're gonna do like 150,000 million DPS and then you suck, then I understand if somebody's upset at you or if you can't keep people alive and that stuff. But I mean, I timed keys and people would still flame me and stuff. I don't know. Be patient with new players, especially a Discipline Priest is very, very, very difficult spec to play. I hope people understand that. And also, I will say this as well. I don't think... See, I feel like there's like this misconception that Paladin is an easy spec to play. I actually disagree. I think Paladin is pretty challenging to play at a high level, especially Venthyr. Your HPS really is not that amazing. It seems that people are like under the impression that Paladin is like some crazy HPS healer, where it's really not. Like, as I said like multiple times, outside of our CDs, we're really like just literally a melee DPS creep. We're not nothing else. Like, it's really underwhelming amount of healing. If people, especially if people start making mistakes, things get really difficult. And that style of play actually kind of reminds me of Disc. That's how I feel on Disc. Sometimes, like, if I don't have CDs and people start making mistakes, there's just not much I can do for them. You know what I mean? It's like, I always say like Disc is like Disc is a spec for organized groups, and I actually think same about Venthyr Paladin. Yeah, for sure, definitely. And here, so just be careful with this onslaught. You can kind of do a few things here for the soaks. On one rotation, I would suggest using Ashen Hollow, of course, together with Light's Hammer or whatever it's called, and just like you know, do your normal Ashen Hollow stuff. And then, I mean, of course, if you manage to face him this quickly like we did, then you'll get another soak. And then I suggest using Aura Mastery for the second one, and then you can throw a sack plus a bubble. You can do like bubble, double soak, and then you can sack another person, so you have basically solved the 3 soaks just by yourself, and then you can like single target or beacon heal the 4th person. So that's like optimal. Of course, I didn't do that because I'm not that good at executing what I think I should do yet, because I'm still like new to this character and everything. So like, as I said, there's gonna be plenty of mistakes in my gameplay. I'm not, you know, uploading these videos claiming to be a god at what I'm doing, and I'm just uploading them for myself as much as for you guys, so you guys can see that even with suboptimal gameplay you can still time these keys, provided your group is decent and just like a bit of coordination with your friends and stuff. And yeah, just gotta be, you know, not a burden basically, and you're good enough, I guess. That being said, I don't think I did horribly. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be like fake humble here or something. I think I did average. I think these numbers are like okay. Could have been better. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's Halls of Atonement. One of the easier keys, I would say, on Tyrannical. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. You know, like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Feedback means a lot to me, so I really appreciate any sort of feedback. And you know, look forward to more videos, both Priest and Paladin. Okay, guys, have a great day. Stay beautiful. Bye. Bye.